Last night it was a civil rights game here at USA Field, a night that most of us will never forget. A night that was kicked off with a little foreshadowing from 2013 Beacon Award winner Bo Jackson.
I'm going to make this short and sweet because I know we want to get on with the evening, see some baseball, see Sox win.
With the game on the line in the bottom of the ninth, Josh Phegley put a stamp on the game and this memorable night. Well, there's the base hit, and this ball game is over! Yes! Today, the Sox can cap off this weekend and this series by taking the rubber match. It's the Sox and the Rangers next. We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, Gordon Beckham, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Adrian Beltre and the first place Texas Rangers. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set, and it will be the rubber match. They took the opener 11-5. They hit 5 home runs in that ball game. Then last night, Hector Santiago struggled at first and then got it ironed out a little bit, was just outstanding. We won that ball game 3-2 on a big hit by Josh Phegley in the bottom of the ninth. But I mentioned the big game win last night. This club's been on a roll for a while.
Teams have been playing better baseball. They've been playing better baseball in every facet of the game, and we'll show you just exactly what it's resulted in. A 7-1 record, but the batting average much higher than it's been all year. The runs per game also improved, along with the extra base hits. The big factor always the earned run average with quality starts. Starting pitching has been terrific, and the bullpen ERA, they've been close to untouchable. And one of the guys that's doing it is Avisail Garcia. He's on an 11-game hitting streak, and during that hitting streak, he's hitting the ball left and right. He's taking it right back up the middle. He's getting his little dunk hits, and he's getting his hard hits, and that's what you have to do to maintain a hitting streak. And so far, with his speed, with his defense, with his arm, he's making a difference in our team.
Well, after going 8 starts without a win, he picked up his first win his last time out. Can he make it 2 in a row today?
Johnny Danks was throwing the ball pretty well, but never better than last time out against Kansas City. He went 8 innings through shutout innings, and his opponent today is Matt Garza. Now, Garza 3-3 lifetime against our ball club. Boys, one suggestion. Bunt against Matt Garza. Number 1, he can't field. Number 2, it aggravates him. And number 3, you'll probably beat him if you get him down in fair territory. So, Johnny Danks has a job to do. Let's take 2 of 3. Bunt. Bunt.
I love it. Okay, a beautiful day, and it's Family Sunday here at the ballpark. So, for the rubber match, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. And by Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. It's a very warm day here in Chicago, but a cloudless day. And you see Robin meeting with the umpires. During the commercial break, Mark Parent, who was out there to innocuously take out the lineup cards, got the heave-ho. So it's not the all-time record, but it's pretty close to it as he doesn't make it to the post. And now Robin Ventura comes out. He wants a word and find out just exactly what the magic word or words were. So let's take a look at how Ron Washington is going to line up his Rangers today. It's going to be Gentry leading it off with Elvis Andrus, who's been red hot recently. Then it's Kinsler, Beltre, Rios, and Baker. Giovanni Soto with the nod behind the plate. Profar and Rosales rounding it out. The defense and how they'll line up behind Johnny Danks. Viciedo, Diaz, and Garcia in the outfield with Keppinger, Ramirez, Beckham, and Konerko in the infield. Josh Pegley behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Johnny Danks, coming off just a brilliant outing against Kansas City, looking for his 4th win, and this is his 18th start. He had great control last time, kept the ball in the ballpark, and got ahead of just about each and every hitter. So we are ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Stoney, thank you very much, and once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Finale of this 3-game set. And the first pitch of the ball game to Craig Gentry leading off, hitting at 249. A couple of homers. He's driven in 17. He's 1 for 4 in this series. Johnny Danks, as Steve told you last time out, was just awesome. One and one the count. Rangers come in hitting at 262 as a club with a 3.65 ERA. And there's a strike. Johnny, like he's getting it. He's throwing it like he did in Kansas City the other night.
And that's exactly what he has to do to keep his rhythm, to continue to throw strikes. Josh Pegley is going to get the ball back to him as quickly as possible and let John dictate his own rhythm.
Popped up right side. Beckham taking charge, as he should. Although he's got one of the best guys, first baseman in the league on pop-ups in Paulie. But a lot easier for Gordon. So 1 out. And they'll bring up Elvis Andrus hitting at 256. A homer. He's driven in 45. Elvis 3 for 10 in the series. Oh, what a lovely day. Wow. Not a cloud in the sky. A lovely day in the city, beautiful.
Down to 88 degrees. Not a whole lot of humidity today. There will be in the next couple of days, however.
And that pitch is outside.
Career against Danks. Elvis Andrus likes what he's seen.
Yeah, he's had good luck against him. 5 for 13. Couple RBIs. Of course, the guy on deck likes him even more. This is the 6th and final meeting of the year between these two clubs. In the first 5, our Sox have won 3 of them. Outfield for the most part straight up. And there's a chopper to Hopper.
Take a look at the umpires today. And this is a strong crew. Alan Porter behind the plate. Greg Gibson is at first. Jerry Lane, the crew chief, is at second. And Hunter Wendelstedt is at third. And the games that we've had with Alan Porter behind the plate have been umpired exceptionally well.
Yes. Yes, they have. So here's Kinsler, 11 for 28 lifetime against Danks. And of the 11 hits, 7 of them stayed in the park. Takes first pitch strike. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center. This is going to be a nice, quick 1-2-3 inning for Johnny as Danks takes charge. After a half inning of play, it's the Rangers nothing, and the good guys coming to bat.
Alexi Ramirez, then Adam Dunn, 41st all-time in the home run list. Canarco, Garcia, Keppinger, Vicieto, and Josh Begley rounded out. The defense, and how they'll line up behind Matt Garza. Baker, Gentry, and Rios in the outfield. Beltre, Andrus, Profar, and Rosales in the infield. Former Cub Giovanni Soto behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Matt Garza. This is 7th start with the Rangers. He's 3-1, but the ERA is up there. Just 8 walks, 36 strikeouts. That's been good. Left-handers have hit him just a little better than the right-handers. So overall this year, he's had a very strong season. One problem, and we alluded to it in the opening, if you saw it, if you didn't see it, he has big problems fielding his position, and notably, fielding bunts. So if you are going to lay one down, if you're Diaza, best not to allow Beltre to field it, as he's one of the best in the world at that.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as Diaza stands in. Make no mistake about it, Garza will take his time. So here's Alejandro hitting at 267, 14 homers, 52 knocked in. Diaza 2 for 8 in the series. And against Garza, faced him 6 times, and he's 0 for 6. Beltre in on the grass. Rosales at first, at the cut of the grass. Outfield, swung around to the left. Goes through that one.
Rangers are going to leave here after the ball game today. They're going to fly to Seattle for 3. Then have an off day on the 29th before taking on the Twins in Texas.
And starting tomorrow night right here, first of 3 with the Houston Astros. make your plans to be with us.
Houston actually doing a lot better lately. 5 of their last 10 they've won. They've won their last 2 in a row.
They've been playing some good baseball. They've been in a lot of games.
And the big problem with them is they've lost 2 catchers. They brought up Max Stassi. He went on the disabled list with concussion syndrome, as did Carlos Corcoran, go on the concussion disabled list. So they got Jason Castro, hit a couple of home runs yesterday. Castro's a pretty good one, and you'll like him in this series.
That's low and inside, full count. All 4 base hit right here, Alejandro. And that's ball 4, so the leadoff walk. And that'll bring up Beckham. Gordon hitting at .295, 4 homers. He's driven in 20, 3 for 9 in this series with a couple of RBIs.
Garza doesn't walk too many people. That's just the 9th walk he's issued in 41 2/3 innings as a member of these Texas Rangers.
Gordon has faced Garza 8 times, and he has 3 hits. And he takes ball 1. And the ball gets away. So a good way to start the bottom of the 1st inning.
We'll have to see how that one is scored. Garza did have an error this year.
You got 2 of them now.
And it is E1. He really doesn't field particularly well, and that's one of the ways you can take advantage of him.
So now that'll change Gordon's approach just the shade. Gap out there in left center. Dick Gap. And Gordon will get the job done. There's a nice pick by Rosales. So a good at bat right there for Beckham. And right now, let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks to click tonight. The manager, our director, and the crew. We went with Beckham. He's going with Diaza, Terry Hanley, Mike Williams, Eric Aldridge, Roger Clare, and I. We're going to go with the Tack, Viciedo. Now the Rangers bring the infield in for Alexei. Alexei hitting at .288, 4 homers, 41 knocked in. 2 for 8 in this series. Outfield for the most part straight up, about equidistant.
Guys are with a couple of wild pitches this year, and what Alexei's looking for is hitting the ball in the air. So swinging at the breaking ball down with the infield in. Not a good idea on the first pitch.
And that is just foul. Close, real close. Dadgummit.
That fastball right in on Alexei's hands. He was able to fight it off. And just missed a 2-base hit. Inside out swing. But not between the lines. So what you're looking for now, if your Diaz at third is a good secondary lead, you can come off as far as Beltre is off and anticipate a breaking ball in the dirt.
Soto to the outside. One and two. And that's off of Alexei. So the count hangs at ball and 2 strikes, 1 out.
Best arm in the outfield was injured yesterday. Martin Perez left with a bad ankle. He had a Cannonford arm. Gentry in center field's got a good arm, but not a great arm.
Fouls that one away.
It's Leonis Martin, excuse me. He's got the great arm.
Ask him after the game if he was okay. He said, yeah.
Well, at first it didn't appear that way, but as he started to walk off, it looked like whatever happened had loosened up.
Yeah.
And when he was walking in the dugout, he was actually walking almost naturally.
Yeah. So Alexei, just a very slightly closed stance up in the box, as opposed to the norm, a little unusual. Not quite as much up in the box as he has been in the past. And that is a big out. So once again, it's up to Adam to get in a man from third, now with 2 out.
Breaking ball in the dirt, stopped very well by Giovanni Soto, making sure it didn't get away.
Really only had 1 ball in the strike zone in that at bat.
Not surprising.
So here's Adam. 1 for 8 in the series. That hit coming last night. And here it is.
He picked on a first ball fastball. First 2 times up, he got a lot of breaking balls, missed them. First ball fastball, opposite direction. It stayed that way until the bottom of the 9th inning.
Off you, Darvish. Boy, that was just a terrific day at the ballpark yesterday. The Civil Rights game, all the festivities. MLB people did their thing. They did it right. Our White Sox people did their thing. They did it right. Everything was on cue. Everything was right on the money. Well ran. And some of the shots that we had yesterday were just, I mean, for Steve and I, lifers in this game, just incredible.
Well, luminaries at the ballpark all around. The interviews were great. The people that were here were thrilling. A lot of the speeches, presentations, and factor in a terrific game. Won in the bottom of the 9th in dramatic fashion. Couldn't have ended better.
And that's way high. Just a beautiful day at the ballpark. As is this one.
There's a man who battled him certainly last night. Hector Santiago did not have any semblance of his good stuff, yet he stayed in the game and kept it close.
Yes, he did. And that'll retire the side. So once again, we get a man on third, less than 2 outs, and he just stands right there. Let's take a look at some of those moments last evening. It was just an awesome, awesome pregame festivity. There's Bo getting a Beacon Ward. First pitch storm. They had 6 generations out there behind the mound. And this shot right here is one that just absolutely got me. Frank Robinson on the left, Sweet Swing and Billy Williams, and Hammer and Hank Aaron. You know, between those 3 guys, they had 1,767 home runs. They had 5,584 RBIs and a total playing time in the big leagues of 62 years.
And no problem whatsoever all getting to Cooperstown.
No, but the numbers are really, as compared to what that game signified last night, are secondary to what those guys went through.
Yep. Each and every one of them.
Yep. All 3 of them. All 3 of them.
And the initial shot was a stamp unveiled that the Postal Service issued about the Civil Rights March, 1963. Sharon Robinson was here, the daughter of Jackie Robinson, and she said what it meant to her to have that stamp, a forever stamp, introduced into our society, for not only the stamp itself, but for what it meant to so many people and what it continues to mean for so many people. She was eloquent when she came up in the booth in the bottom of the 6th inning.
That's out of play right side. Yeah, it was quite a neat. I had I don't know, but by the time I got home, I probably had 30 to 35 texts on how much they enjoyed hearing Hank Aaron talk.
He was just terrific last night.
Oh, he was. He was awesome. And there is a base hit. He was just awesome.
Beltre's had such a phenomenal run at it as the Rangers, who've come from 6 games back to take the lead in the division. There's no doubt that Adrian Beltre, what with all the pitching and everything, but Beltre has really led the way offensively, and he continues to do just that.
So here's Rios Alex sitting at 277, 13 homers, 60 knocked in. Hit his first homer last night in the Texas uniform. That was a bomb out of here. He's 3 for 9 in the series. And he gets most of this one.
He got a fastball. He scored those 2 runs. There was 2 outs, nobody on. AJ with a base hit and Rios with a blast.
Chases that high and away changeup, way high and wide. Close. Alex going to talk to him about that.
I think it was a late ring up.
It was. I just looked away after the pitch. And a late call. Meanwhile, he gone. Well, yeah, you're talking about Beltre. There's no question he's the leader of that ball club. There's no question that he is the best player on that team. And, you know, he's 34 years old, Stevie, and he's playing like a 24-year-old. I mean, he just has fun. It's like Miguel Cabrera. Those 2 guys probably exhibit and are more demonstrative in a youthful, childlike quality, so to speak, of playing the game of baseball.
Well, for Beltre right now, all there is left in his career with what he's accomplished is getting the ring.
Yeah. And he knows that. And he wants that very, very bad.
So he's going to do whatever he can, which is a tremendous amount, both offensively, defensively, and as far as leadership, talking to the young players in that clubhouse to get this team over the hump. They've gotten close. They just haven't gotten there.
Yeah. That would be one of the qualities that I would look for in players and signing them. I love guys who have retained their childlike qualities. I love them. They're fun to watch. Your George Bretts, your Beltres. And a lot of times, as we both know, we have seen it because of he gone. So Baker, that's 2 out. A lot of times we've seen it. Guys come into the game, they have their childlike qualities, they retained them, they're having fun, they have a couple of good years, all of a sudden they sign a big contract and poof, childlike qualities disappear because of the money.
Big contract, or they get injured. And all the things they could do just routinely, now it's an effort for them. And they forget that just wearing that uniform and playing baseball is a privilege.
I think more I've seen more guys lose it, though, with signing
with
the big
the dollars.
Contracts. Yeah. You know, it changes their personality. It's like sometimes we've seen third base coaches who are great third base coaches get a manager's job. And all of a sudden he changes. He's no longer that effervescent guy, you know.
Well, that happens a lot.
Oh, sure it does. Yeah.
Well, first of all,
sad.
There's a lot more pressure that goes with it.
Yeah. But for you and I, it's sad to see because you had friends who were real good third base coaches, great guys, could become managers, and all of a sudden they change. There's a strike. Soto hitting at 208, 6 homers, 15 knocked in.
Soto pretty much tries to pull just about everything. At this stage of his career and his season, he's trying to hit the ball out of the park. What you'd love to do is die the ball away and get him to roll over and hit it to the left side.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
And as you can see, the direction of outfield hits, 15, 9, only 2 to right field.
And a full count. That change up downstairs. Mets leading the Tigers 3-2. That's in the 5th inning at Citi Field. Baltimore leading Oakland 5-1, top of the 3rd at Camden Yards.
Fortunately, Southpaw is air conditioned.
Ball hits sharply. But the peg over to Pauly. So he gives up the leadoff single to Beltre, then retires the next 3 after an inning and a half, still no score.
Brought to you by Miller Lite. And we'll see who can win that one. Certainly you've got 3 speed burners going at it.
And Sox fans, on Saturday, September 28th, come see our Sox take on the Royals at 6:10. All fans are invited to stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by Great Clips. Great Clips, you know it's going to be great. We'll Purchase your tickets now at WhiteSox.com or 866-SOX game. Paulie, Garcia, Keppinger here in the bottom of the second inning. Matt Garza on the bump.
Kansas City today is trying to stay relevant in the race. They've lost 7 in a row, including getting swept by our ball club for the first time in Kansas City since 2009. They're in a tailspin, but they're winning the ball game this afternoon.
Well, you can't see a club, and I'm not taking anything away from our pitchers because they did a number on them, but you can't see a club much flatter than they were. When you've been around as long as Steve and I have, you can walk into a ballpark and you can almost see it, much less feel it. It's the most tangible, intangible in the game of baseball.
Well, it happened to them against Detroit.
Yeah.
Because they had a 5-game series, a huge one. They won a doubleheader. And after that, they let things slip away, losing the next 3. And that's when we came to town and you could feel that the air had gone out of the balloon.
Well, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. As that's into left center field. Gentry is there for out number 1. But, you know, they won that doubleheader opening up that 5-game set. And they were sky high. So then they lose the next 3. It's not a question of losing the next 3. It's how they lost the next 3. Wasn't very good. Wasn't very pretty the way they lost it. So, you know, when you walk Miguel Cabrera and bottom of the 9th inning in a tie game and Prince Fielder hits a home run, that's baseball. That's just baseball. But when you are in a tie game bottom of the 9th inning and you let Miguel Cabrera beat you, that's not baseball.
No, that probably a choice, and Ned Yost said that was on me. Probably a choice that if he had to do over again, he wouldn't make.
Avisail chasing it. Couldn't lay off of it like Alexei. So 0-2 the count. He's on an 11-game hitting streak. 2 for 6 in this series. And one of the hits that extended that hitting streak was an infield single that not many guys would have beat out, but he did. Ball to shortstop. Just got a piece of that one. Avisail just did beat that play. And as quick as Avisail is, if that had been Bo Jackson would be on his way back to first. 1-2 the count. Bo Jackson, the fastest right-handed hitter I ever saw down the line. Wow. That first hit he got off, his first major league hit off Steve Carlton. Tim Hewlett was playing third. Firm 2-hopper. Timmy didn't even make a throw. That's out of play. Mezzanine. Start us off right here with 1 out. Avisail. Close pitch, but it was inside. Garza will pitch inside. So that is out number 2. Third strikeout for Garza.
Pretty solid pitch. And that ball just dove out of the zone.
It's Keppinger. 246, 3 homers, 34 knocked in. 2-0. Captain 1 for 5 against Garza. Two and one. Reaches out, hooks it. Full count. Ball 4 base hit right here. Give Tank a shot from the stretch. No chance. 4th strikeout. He's retired the last 6. Still no score. Tag White Sox talk, and we'll read one back later in the game, and it just might be yours. Here's Profar. Erickson hitting at .234, 4 homers, 21 knocked in, just 20 years old, a switch hitter.
Outfield shading him a couple of steps toward right center field. At this point of his career, he's been a much better hitter from the left side. What?
Got a good pitch to hit and couldn't do anything with it.
Arizona won a ball game last night against Philadelphia. That in itself is not startling, but the fact is the game went 18 innings. Again, well, that's a lot. However, it took 7 hours and 4 minutes to complete that game. They're back at it today.
And that's going to be a base hit. Just a fister.
One of the big aspects of that game, the losing pitcher, former White Sox outfielder Casper Wells. in the 18th inning, picked up the loss.
Threw 40 pitches in 2/3 of an inning.
He got 2 outs very quickly, and then found out what pitchers before him have been finding out for years. Sometimes you can't get that 3rd one.
Yeah, each team used 22 players. Here's Rosales. Profar 1 for 5 in the stolen base category. Decently. Yes, he did. And the count 0-1. Well, in our notes today, Vinny Duber from CSN Chicago did some research on Hammer and Hank against our White Sox in his career. Hammer and Hank, who had 755 home runs, never hit one against the White Sox. And that was in, let me see, 15 for 59 in his career against our Sox. The only team he never hit a home run against that he played.
As I say, you could think about 59 at bats and seemingly find one that might have gone out of the ballpark,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
Yeah, Vinny had to dig a little bit to get all this. Interesting. Vinny from CSNChicago.com. Yeah, Hank. Dave Ross tells me that most home runs he hit against a single pitcher. Yes. Rosales, he gone. So 1 out was against my former partner. God rest his soul. Don Drysdale hit 17 off Don.
Well, he must have faced him a whole lot, because for a right-hander to hit Drysdale like that was a major accomplishment.
Well, if he hit 17 home runs off Drysdale, you got to think that Don hit him 34 times. Because he's going to hit him twice as many as he got off him.
He probably did. In fact, Hank mentioned that last night.
Yeah, Don McCovey hit Drysdale well too, but Don said the greatest hitter he ever faced was Stan Musial. And you heard Hank's emotion about Musial last night. Said he's the greatest guy he ever met.
That was a perfect pitch, and occasionally umpires miss him. That time, Alan Porter just missed it. Menard's pitch tracks when they had the whole zone.
Hank had 221 at bats against Big D, Don Drysdale. One and one to count with 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. No score if you're just tuning in. Line shot. Lexi mistimed it. Just off the edge of his glove. Took that one long step. And he'll tell you could have made that.
Hit hard, but he went up seemingly just a touch too late.
Yep. So here's Andrus. He grounded out, hit the ball sharply to Alexi. One out, 2 on. Drops the hook on him.
On the Triple Crown watch, Miguel Cabrera hit another home run today, his 42nd. He's now driven in 128 runs with the 2, driven in by that 2-run homer.
He's fun to watch.
42 of them.
And playing hurt. And has been. So now Profar is going to tag. Everybody's Gentry. He gets it back in. So 2 out runners at the corners. Yeah. Cabrera doing all that damage and playing hurt.
Seems like every day they chronicle another bruise, a slight pull, various things that come with everyday baseball late in the season. Cabrera's got them all and will not come out of the lineup.
Here's Kinsler. Popped up. Viciato came in to take charge and make the catch. Kinsler now 11 for 29 with 4 homers off Johnny Danks. Well, that exhibition that Cabrera put on for us and that extra hitting when we were in Detroit last. That's the best exhibition of long distance hitting I've ever seen. Now, he cannot hit the ball as far as Frank Howell. And they were going extra hitting to see if he could play because he was hurt. Because there's a strike. But as far as barreling it up for distance, that was the best I've ever seen.
But what I liked about it was a normal hitter will come up there and he'll hit some line drives to left, some line drives to center, some line drives to right. And he'll do that. He might go back, right, center, and left. Cabrera was doing it with home runs. Home runs to left, home runs to center, home runs to right.
There goes Gentry. Ball fouled away. And long ones. And I mean, just not 4 or 5 rows back. 30 rows back.
That time Josh Fegley, because he was anticipating making a throw, the catcher gets up out of his crouch, and it really exposes him to getting hurt. But you have to get up to make your throw, and the ball was fouled off. Many times it'll come off his body. Now watch Fegley. He starts coming up. Fortunately for him, he catches it off the mask. He doesn't catch it off the hand or the bicep or any other part that's exposed with him coming up to make the throw.
Decent lead by Gentry. And there's a souvenir right side. Once again, the 2-2.
Time he cracked his bat on a cutter inside, and that ball was a good 4 or 5 inches inside. Took it right off the screen in front of the Sox dugout. You have any problem seeing the baseball day game after a night game, especially if that night game went a little bit longer?
It was according to what town we were in.
True, and it was a different era, of course.
Yeah, it was a lot of different era.
Coffee was stronger.
A lot stronger.
Yeah.
No, I love day games. As Alexi backhand right over the top. Nice peg, and that'll do it. Johnny pitches out of it. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Still scoreless. Club here at US Cellular Field. Gold Coast tickets, you got a guy, and of course that is Seth Sharon, our buddy. Does such a great job finding you tickets to wherever and whatever you want to see.
You and I have been talking about the surprise Pittsburgh Pirates all year long, and now they find themselves tied with St. Louis in the National League Central. Identical records. They took a big blow. Starting left fielder Starling Marte on the disabled list, has a hand problem. The youngster hitting .282, 35 stolen bases, scored 79 runs. And with Andrew McCutchen hitting in the 3 spot and Marte getting on, Pittsburgh is putting together just an enchanted season. It's going to be hard for them to hold off St. Louis, though, if Marte is lost for any length of time.
79 runs. Wow. Here's Tank. Well, we'll see. Every team's going to have them. Lord knows the Yankees have had their fair share this year.
They're getting Derek Jeter back tomorrow night, however, which is, for them, pretty big. Derek's only played 5 games this year. This is the 3rd rehab he's been on. And all reports out of New York was everything went well in his rehabs, and he will be in the lineup against Toronto tomorrow night.
1-2. Tank hitting at .254, 11 homers, 44 knocked in. 4 for 8 in the series. Yeah, that's a big boost for them.
This is what it looks like with the Yankees 7 games back. The Rays and Red Sox tied. The Orioles still hanging in there. And the wild card still in doubt.
And there's a base hit right back through the middle, so you can cancel a post-game show. That's our first one. Well, last year, Stevie, as we've said many times, on September 24th, we had a lead last year over the Tigers. So you never, until you get knocked out, it's like a fight. Until you get knocked out, you can't quit.
Not in this game. Too many things can happen. Too many guys can get hot. Too many guys can suddenly get cold. We saw a whole team get cold last year for our guys.
Yeah.
And look, Detroit played very well, but if our ball club had continued to play as they had, as the team was on September 18th, continued to play from that point on the way it had played to that point, would have been a different story. It just wasn't. And you know, there are no miracles over 162. 162, the championship season, is laid out to show every flaw you have, every attribute you have, all of the injuries you play through, all of the additions you can make to your team before the trade deadline, all of them you can make after the waiver period, and in many instances, guys you call up from your 40-man roster in September.
That ball is hit hard by Fegley. Yanks it foul.
But that being said, over 162, the best team wins. That can't be said in the playoffs, whether it's one and done in the wild card or the 3 of 5, the 4 of 7. Many times, in fact, most times, the best team does not win. The team with the hottest pitching usually does win.
Well, last year on September 24th, we had a 1-game lead. That was 153 games. On September 25th, we were tied with the Tigers. On September 26th, we were 1 game back of the Tigers. On September 27th, we were 2 games back of the Tigers. So we finished up 3 games back.
Slipping.
Slippage, slippage. And there's ball 4. So the first 2 men aboard. Let's don't blow this one. Let's do this.
Well, let's just get down a bunt and force Garza to field it. 1 bunt.
Here. Take my handkerchief to wipe those tears away.
No, I'm telling you. 1 bunt, make Garza field it. Beltre is coming in to talk with Garza on what he wants him to do. And this is on signs from Ron Washington in their dugout. And then Beltre goes through his set of signs to the infield and how they want to defense what he believes is going to be a bunt.
So now Soto giving the signs. When you get a guy like Beltre, or you had a guy like Robin Ventura as a manager, you just let them handle that situation. They know what to do. Piazza walked to lead off the bottom of the first. Got to third with one out, and we couldn't score him. Makes the bunt, takes a strike.
Alejandro looking down at Joe McEwing.
Well, he's had 5 sacrifices, as that graphic you just saw, but he has not done a good job bunting this year. There's a good job. So he gets it done. Good play by Alejandro. He's been working, or they've been working on it, so maybe it's paying off.
He forced Beltre into the only play he had, and he bunted it hard enough where Beltre was the only guy who could field it. Garza was charging toward the line, but didn't have any chance for it.
So now here is Beckham. After Piazza walked, they tried to pick him off, threw the ball away. He went to second. He was out there with nobody out. Beckham did the job. He got the ground ball to the right side to get him over the third, but we could not get him in. That's going to get him in. Tank. That ball is off his glove. That's going to score a pair. So here comes Fegley. It is 2-0 Sox. Gentry, normally a very good outfielder. That ball may have taken off on him. Meanwhile, it's 2-0.
That was a knuckleball out to Gentry. If we can follow the path of the ball, you'll see it just went out there exactly like a knuckleball. He hit it on a seam. He hit it awfully hard. And when Gentry went to catch it, the ball just went off the end of the glove.
So it'll be a sacrifice fly, an RBI, and an error on Gentry. That's his first error of the season. So far, or Andrus, I should say. So far as the second day, it was as short yesterday. And here's Adam. Well, it started with that leadoff single by Viciado. Chops that one foul. Outfield, slightly to the left, gap out there in right center. Well, that ball was scalded by Beckham. Another barrel up.
Looked like an R.A. Dickey knuckleball that went out to Gentry because he was tracking it. He thought he had it. At the last instant, that ball just kind of floated away. So it is E8, but that's one of the more difficult plays for an outfielder.
Sure it is. Those things knuckle on you like that.
From a high home camera, Gentry thinks he has it. And then that ball just kind of takes an abrupt right turn. It's off the end of the glove.
Nope. 2-2. Well, I'll tell you. When I got traded from Boston to Cleveland, my first game with the Indians, I was playing right field in Cleveland, playing the Yankees. Pepitone comes up and hits me a rocket into right field and knuckled on me. Hit me right in the left kneecap. That was my debut. Full count. Yeah, when it knuckles on you, you got no chance.
No, because it does something that the baseball never does.
Yeah.
I mean, you're taught, regardless of what position, to follow the rotation of the baseball. Sometimes they sink, sometimes they sail, but you can kind of tell. But when it's hit on a seam and it comes out as a knuckleball, nobody can predict it. That's why catchers have a hard time catching all knuckleball pitchers.
Got him. It was in the zone, but we pick up a pair. We lead it 2-0.
Tacos from Taco Bell. Live Mas.
2-0 good guys here in the top of the fourth inning. 2-1-0 for us. 0-3-2 for them. And here's Beltre. He lined a single in the right center field for the first hit by Texas, leading off the second inning. One and one to count. Baltimore now leading Oakland 6-1. Game in the bottom of the fourth at Orioles Park. Davis 2 for 2 in that game. Both of them stayed in the park. Three and one.
Going into today, it's hard for me to believe, but the last 31 hits for Nick Markakis were all singles. And that's pretty unusual because he's a real good hitter. You would think in that ballpark somewhere he could get an extra base hit, but maybe that streak broke today.
Now there's the dreaded leadoff walk here. And it'll bring up Alex, who was called out on strikes his first at bat. Well, there's a guy who looks like he changed his game. When he first came up, it looked like he was going to hit 25, 30 home runs a year.
There's no doubt when they moved him to the top of the order, he did become a different hitter.
Yeah. There he drops a hook on him. Yeah, he looked like he was going to be something special.
Dave Ross tells us he's got 27 extra base hits this entire season, which is absolutely amazing, with just 19 doubles, 8 home runs.
Just underneath it, Alexei. One out. And September 15th, we'll have Strikeout Stroke Day. You can join our Sox in their effort to raise awareness of stroke warning signs and the importance of acting fast. Acting fast. I read a story on that the other day. That is a key. You got to, first of all, you got to know the warning signs. And then when you see one or two of them, you got to act fast. So purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com/SOS. Strikeout Stroke Day. Baker struck out his first trip. Yeah, the mind of the athlete is interesting. A guy will change his philosophy or his thought process or his approach. I played with a guy named Dick Green, who a lot of people considered to be the best defensive second baseman ever. Bobby Richardson, now I'm talking about in that time zone. Bobby Richardson said he's the greatest second baseman ever played the game defensively. And when Greeny and I played together in the minor leagues, he could hit the ball as far as anybody. He hit one over the roof at Old Comiskey Park. I mean, way over the roof. And all of a sudden, he got to the point he didn't want to hit home runs. He didn't want to hit the ball out of the ballpark in batting practice. He wouldn't. And we talked, Greeny, what are you doing? He said, I don't want to hit any home runs. I don't want to hit the ball out of the ballpark in batting practice.
Well, some of the teams that he played with, Kansas City and then Oakland, they had a lot of guys who could hit the ball out of the park.
Yeah. And he could hit as far as anybody. But he just changed. You couldn't talk him out of it. Three and two. Beltre, 1 for 1 in stolen bases. There he goes. And that ball is foul.
Giovanni Soto in the on-deck circle. In case Baker does not ground into a double play, he's got an uppercut swing. He's a fly ball hitter. He's only grounded into 2 double plays this year. And he doesn't have particularly good speed.
That ball hit deep into right field. And this game is tied at 2. Garcia hits that post, it looked like, pretty hard.
He's shaken up.
So the leadoff walk comes around to score on a homer by Baker.
And Brian Ball, along with Robin Ventura, want to get out there, might want to take a look at him. He was concentrating on this one and went back. Now, it could very well be his wrist as he put the glove up.
Looked like he may have jumped his head right into that post up there.
With his concentration entirely on the baseball, he went back and really hit the fence full out.
That's what happened. He jumped right up into the railing.
This might have a fence print around his right eye.
That's real time there.
Yeah, he hit it hard.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Looks like hard enough to come out of the game. Still dizzy, probably. So it's a 2-2 tie. As he's definitely coming out. And here comes Jordan Danks. That's the 4th home run that Baker's got against us this year. I know one thing, Steve. You've been there and done it probably. I think every ball player played in Old Tiger Stadium did it in that dugout.
Yes.
You did it. I did it.
Get up quickly. You get real excited. You get up quickly, and all of a sudden you have a flat top of your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you can see stars doing that.
Yes, yeah, I did. It will definitely. So anyway, Jordan Danks moves into right field. If I ever say L. That was the lowest dugout in baseball at Old Tiger Stadium.
That's the 11th home run. RBI's 20 and 21 for Jeff Baker, his second 2-run homer of the series.
So here's Soto. He grounded out to Alexei. And that's the 23rd home run that Johnny has thrown. One and one to count. Well, one guy and starts off a 2-run inning. Two balls, two strikes. Full count. In that series starting tomorrow night, Brett Oberholzer on the bump, a left-hander for Houston against Andre Rienzo for us. So Andre, who's had 5 starts now, picked up his first win in Kansas City. As that is out of play right side, so the count hangs at 3-2. Come on out. See Andre try to beat the Houston Astros. On Tuesday, Quintana for us to be announced for them, and on Wednesdays, Chris Sale for us and to be announced for them. Yanks that one foul. Tomorrow night, if you can't make it to the ballpark, that game will be over WCIU. He gone. Change up.
Fourth strikeout. High change. Soto thinking about going back-to-back on home runs. No contact.
There's Profar. Had an infield single. Is 20 years old. Yerkson out of Kursal. That ball hit hard into the gap, and nobody can get there. Just slipped by Diaz, so he'll go into second base with a double. Ninth two-bagger for Profar.
Profar might have tested out Diaz had he caught the ball. But when overrunning it, there's no chance.
Here's Rosales. Struck out on a changeup his first trip. Count evens.
Oakland decided they didn't have any use at this particular time for the all-purpose player. And Adam, who can play the outfield, play any infield position, including first base, was picked up by Texas.
Curveball, no. Well, he has always played very well against us. He's a Chicago boy. And has always played well against our Sox.
Took a face-high fastball and rode it out of the park. The second of two two-run homers in the second inning against Chris Sale. That was in the opener of the series. Won by the Rangers 11-5.
Two pitch.
Trying to heat him inside and surprise him with a fastball. He got it in there, but it was off the plate.
So he's had to work hard this inning. This will be the 30th pitch of the inning. And that's a can of corn. But the two-run homer by Jeff Baker, his 11th of the year, 4th this season against us, and we are tied at 2. Game live only at csnchicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Bottom of the fourth inning in this 2-2 tie. It'll be Canerco, Garcia. No, it'll be Canerco, Jordan, Danks, and Keppinger. As we were talking in between innings there, when you saw Avisail blinking out there, blinking is a sign of a concussion.
Well, let's hope that that's not the case. They're going to take a look, obviously, take every precaution, and when we know, and we get an update, we will let you know.
Checking some other scores for you. Top of the seventh, Cleveland tied at 1 with Minnesota. After 7 in New York, Tigers leading the Mets 4-3. Bottom of the fifth in Kansas City, 4-1 Royals over Washington. There's a strike. Cincinnati has been playing good baseball. They trail Milwaukee 3-0. That's the top of the eighth at the Great American Ballpark. D-backs taking it on the chin again, trailing the Phillies 7-2. That's in the bottom of the sixth at Citizens Bank Ballpark. Top of the sixth in Baltimore, still 6-1 Orioles over Oakland. Yankees trying to get on the board down in St. Pete against Tampa Bay. They lead at 2-1. That's in the top of the sixth. And that's a little can of corn out there into right field. Paulie's going out to center. Now goes out to right. And that'll bring up Jordan Danks. Jordan's been centering it up, barreling it up. Hitting some shots lately.
Well, with a tremendous race in the East, we told you about it earlier in Tampa Bay and Boston, in a virtual dead heat. If you play for the Red Sox, you got a pretty good idea that you're going to be traveling a lot late Sunday night, because they have a Sunday night game against the Dodgers tonight.
Well, that's become the nightmare of contending teams going down the stretch. Sunday night games. That's become a nightmare for everybody. Nobody wants them. There's that ball hit deep. Stretch. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Yes. Jordan with his third home run, and it's a 3-2. Good guy lead.
Coming in to play defense when Avisail Garcia went out, and Jordan Danks making the most of it. A Ford home run replay, and he wastes no time. Gets a hanging curveball. That ball just came up there spinning. Even a dead low ball hitter, as Jordan is, loves to see rolling spinning curveballs.
Yeah, he's been swinging that bat. He's been hitting some shots lately. In fact, in his last, as Beltre will get him, his last 26 at bats, he has 10 hits. That'll pencil out to be 385. We'll get that big guy on a roll. Let him. He's got the ability.
And Garza giving up a lot more as far as the long ball is concerned in the American League. That's the 7th home run he's given up in 45 innings of work. He gave up 8 in 71 in the National League.
Here's Tank. He started off that 2-run third with that base hit right back through the middle. Came around to score. Yeah, those Sunday night games have just been really tough on contending teams because that's who they're going to have on Sunday night. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Foul tip hung on to, but the solo shot by Jordan Danks will go the 5th, leading 3-2. For the Wranglers, Gentry, Andrus, and Kinsler. Gentry 1 for 2. Takes ball 1. That evens the count. Yeah, and that Boston Dodger game tonight, Jake Meister on the bump for the Carmines. Capuano for the Dodgers. Jake 9-5, Capuano 4-6.
Jake's going to have the advantage of a 5 o'clock start in Los Angeles. That is great visibility to pitch in.
Yeah. Those games are not very well liked by hitters. And
the pitchers just do indeed love them.
Yeah.
And by the way, we would be remiss if we did not congratulate all the fans of the Los Angeles Dodgers on the fact that they will get Vin Scully back for at least one more year. He'll be back for his 65th year of broadcasting, much to the delight of anybody who listens to baseball.
He's the best.
He's the best.
He is the best. On my drive home to South Bend after the games, night games here, occasionally I have a chance. I have XM radio, and I just love listening to him. You just feel like you're right there at the ballpark.
Well, it's just hard to believe. I mean, he's going to start his 65th year, but if you look at what has transpired since he got into that booth, it's absolutely astonishing. As far as how many commissioners he's seen, how many presidents he's seen, how many ownership changes.
Well, that's a little can of corn out there. I can tell you how many commissioners he's seen. He's seen 8. I've seen 7. He's seen 8.
Well,
maybe Happy Chandler, I believe, was the commissioner when he came in. When I came in, it was Ford Frick.
Are you sure? I was pretty sure that you took Mountain Landis to lunch a couple times.
Come on. Sometimes the truth hurts, you know. Here's Andrus. Yeah, Vinny's the best. Ball hit sharply back through the middle. So good speed aboard. He's 35 for 40 in stolen bases.
There's the manager of the Rangers, Ron Washington, coming into this year. He was 62 wins shy of the all-time club record for victories that was held by Bobby Valentine. Rangers have won 75. Ron Washington now stands atop the list of managers all-time for the Rangers as far as wins are concerned. Pretty solid numbers. The Rangers were not a good team when he got there. They helped build up around him. Now they are a good team and have been a good team. And it's been under Ron Washington that they emerged.
You know, getting back to Vin Scully, I think there's only been one book written with his permission about him. And that was by Kurt Smith. And it was called, the title of the book, Pull Up a Chair. And it's a terrific book. Just an absolute great read if you're a baseball fan.
I had the opportunity twice. He came up to me and he said, I really don't want to wait for the team bus because it's an hour. My wife is back at the hotel. Would you mind giving me a ride to the bus stop?
Watch out. That's just split them right there. Well, that's a seeing eye single. Meanwhile, 1 out. Runners at the corners.
And so I said, giving you a ride to the bus stop? He said, yeah. We were at Wrigley Field. If you give me a ride to the bus stop, any bus that could take me downtown, I would appreciate it. I said, Vin.
Come on. Come on, Vin.
Being a Hall of Famer, if I dropped you off at a bus stop and anybody ever heard that story, they would hang me up from the town square. So I'll tell you what.
Yeah, but they would believe it.
Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, yeah, the gas was expensive then. But I said, I will be more than happy to take you back. He regaled me with stories about Ronald Reagan when he was the governor. The fact that they were neighbors together in Pacific Palisades. He talked about the All-Star game when Reagan did some innings. I mean, it was absolutely unbelievable. His ability to tell stories, his ability to impart baseball history to me was 2 of the great nights of my life.
Oh, yeah. Beltre has single, walked, and scored. Well, as I said, he's something. What a gentleman. There's the strike. So the count 1-2.
Johnny Danks could certainly use a ground ball. And Beltre has grounded into 14 double plays.
Hard high or slow low. Nothing in between. No, I used to love to listen to Ernie Harwell. God rest his soul. In fact, as soon as the game was over, I'd go to my car, and I can always get to the Detroit station and listen to Ernesto Very interesting guy. Former Marine, writer of songs.
And just a great broadcaster.
Yeah. Caught and rack him up. Nothing that Anders could do right there on that one. Meanwhile, they don't score. We're halfway home. We still lead 3-2. Yes.
Time now for our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it's a rocket off the bat of Beltre that ends the inning. Keppinger makes the play. No chance to react at all. If you're the base runner here, you're just hung out to dry, so the inning ends. The lead intact at 3-2, and we head to the bottom of the fifth.
It'll be Fegley, then back to the top of the order with Diaza and Beckham. Sox have won 7 of the last 8 ball games. Usually not here on that 7-day road trip we went on. 4 in Minnesota, 3 in Kansas City. In a 4-game set against the Twins, we lost the opener and then ran the table in leg 3. Then we go to Kansas City. Royals coming off a tough series against the Tigers. We got them at a good time and we swept them. We lose the opener here, 11-5. 5 home runs the Rangers hit. And then last night, Hector Santiago. Hector Santiago is going to be a good one. He's not bad now, but he's going to be real good.
I believe last night was a giant step forward for him. And, you know, someone would look at it and say, well, he didn't have his good stuff. He was down 3-4 miles an hour in velocity. The curveball was only on occasion. And that's true. All of that is true. That's why it was a giant step forward, because he faced a really good baseball team. He held them to 2 runs. And he didn't have any semblance of his good stuff.
There's the strikeout, and that is number 7 for Garza. 1 out.
Every young pitcher has got to make that transition from a guy with a great arm who can win when he has his very good stuff to a guy with a great arm who doesn't have his stuff on a given night but can still go out and win. Because winning with some percentage of less than your best is the art of pitching. And it takes a while to learn that.
There's a base hit. So Alejandro now 1 for 1. A walk, a sacrifice bunt, and this 1-out single. He's 16 for 23 in stolen bases. Well, Steve, you and I both, you talked to a lot of scouts. as I do. Every scout that I've talked to, somewhere in that conversation, Santiago's name is going to come up.
They love him.
Yeah,
I mean, they've
absolutely love him.
You know, there's a chart on every scout's, not only the advanced scouting report, but just when they have a club as their responsibility, and it's acquire or do not acquire. He would be checked on acquire on just about every scout.
Nice there. That's a nice turnover. Andrus, Profar, rack him up, and we'll go to the 6th.
Ended with a double play. This one of the more conventional variety. Up the middle. Good solid backhand flip. And then Profar with a rocket of a throw to first base on the back end of the double play and out of the inning.
So here's Alex Rios. 0 for 2. Curveball strike. Now Steve told you that the Rangers are going out to Seattle after the ball game today. Yep. He gone. 1 out. While Oakland, who's losing 7-1 now, top of the 7th in Baltimore. Oakland will be going from Baltimore to Detroit. Here's Baker, a strikeout and that 2-run homer opposite field. We still have not heard anything on FCL.
This is a Ford home run replay, and Baker gets it over the wall, and unfortunately, Abisail running full out hit the fence with his head, had to be taken out of the game. We believe it's just precautionary. We have not heard yet. As soon as we do, we will let you know.
Paulie wasn't taking any chances on that throw from third. There's a strike, and it counts 3-1. It's full. Bottom of the 7th, the Cleveland still tied at 1 with the Twins. Kansas City still leading Washington 4-1 in Kansas City after 6. And there's a muscled single right back through the middle.
The play by Paulie on the throw that was wide of the bag. You've played first base. Is there any way to protect yourself on that play?
Yeah. Short arm the heck out of it.
Just make sure they can't bend the wrist back?
Well, yeah, what you do is you know what you got to do, and you brace. You sort of put your bicep and tricep area right against your chest and hold it there. So if it hits it, it turns the whole body around.
So you're rotating away from the blow instead of taking it full force. Well, he did a nice job there because the throw pulled him up the line, but he still put on the tag. Came away uninjured, which was the most important part.
Yeah, and he still kept his foot on the bag, but he didn't want to take any chances with the umpire, so he put the tag on him anyway. You get some guys coming down that line, and they see what's happening. Not so much in the culture today, but in years past, they want to take your arm off, so you'll drop the ball. They want to absolutely take your arm off. I guess one of the most memorable shots, though, was with Yankees playing the Red Sox a few years ago, and Alex Rodriguez going down the line at first, come off the bag to tag in. He just knocks the ball out of the glove.
I mean, that's a nice idea, except that you're not allowed to do it.
That was Davey.
Occasionally, Jackie Robinson would go down the line, and if you got in his way, a former football player might just give you a shot.
Well, that ruined Davey. I don't think of his last name. Second baseman for the Giants. And that ruined his career. That shot right there.
Well, he put the shoulder into it. Could have touched the bag with his foot.
Well, that's the way the game was played.
Yep.
That's the way the game was played. Guys did not have any compunction about injuring an opposing player, especially when you had a rivalry like the Giants and the Dodgers, Red Sox and the Yankees. I mean, you actually were trying to hurt guys. It's not unlike football. You were trying to put them out of the game. You were trying to take somebody as a runner and knock them into left field, whether it be the shortstop or the second baseman. But as he got him, he gone. But in that same game that you just saw right there, later on in that game, Alvin Dark hit a conceded double and never stopped at second base. Jackie was playing third base. And he went in there and he hit Jackie and knocked him into the third base coach's box. Jackie obviously was the target. He played every game with a target on his back and on his front and on his hat. He had targets all over him. That ball hit hard, but we got a man there. And that'll retire the side. Went to the bottom of the sixth, leading 3-2.
The South readies for battle. And the Astros are the opponent. Coverage kicks off at 6:30 with Sportsnet Central, so don't miss White Sox, Astros on the South Side Tuesday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet.
That old second baseman I was trying to think about, his name is Davey Williams. And he and Alvin Dark were very, very close, and that's the reason Dark went in. He never stopped at second. And Jackie had the ball 30, 35 feet waiting on Dark.
He took a shot at him.
He didn't take a shot. He got him. He shot at him and he hit him. And Alvin, of course, Alvin was the Los Angeles Rams' #1 draft pick as a running back out of LSU. Back in those days, and he turned it down because he wanted to play baseball. Back in those days, guys who could run under 10 flat in the 100 were very special. Back in the 40s.
I would say so.
Yeah, and he was under 10 in the 100-yard dash. One strike pitch to Alexei, who's 0 for 2. Now you got backfields in high school. One or two of them are going to be running under 10.
Yeah, guys are bigger, stronger, quicker, faster than ever. Now we have to let the game catch up. Because there are fewer minor league teams. Even though it's an international game, we do bring guys to the major leagues probably well before they should. Consequently, the fundamentals of the game, both offensively and defensively, are not near as strong as they once were.
Well, that's what we talk about it and refer to and allude to. The fact that these guys today are better individual players.
No doubt.
They're better individual players, but they're not better teams because of what you just mentioned. They have to rush them to the big leagues so quick that they don't know the fundamentals. They haven't been taught the fundamentals. And there's a big difference when you get 30 teams versus 16. Full count.
Matt Lindstrom throwing into bullpen as Johnny Danks is up over 110 pitches.
Ball for a base hit right here, Lexi. That'll work. Rios will get it back in. So Alexi with his 35th two-bagger. A good way to start here in the bottom of the 6th, leading 3-2.
Inside out swing on a fastball on the inner portion. Finds the line. Greg Gibson on the call. And a gigantic insurance run out at second base with nobody out.
And Alexei just missed one earlier by what, 2 feet?
Not by much. That would have made a huge difference in that one because that would have scored 2 runs. This one just starts off a would-be rally.
Adam 0 for 2 against Garza. 2 strikeouts. Now 2 for 15 lifetime against Garza. Stay fair. Nope. That ball was tattooed.
Tried to throw a straight change, and it looks like he tipped it to Adam. Still couldn't wait back enough, but he hit it awfully hard. That one just stayed right up there. Maybe either a soft breaking ball or straight change, but it was up there on a tee.
Now the 0-2, big strike zone now for Adam. Get over his head, it will. Here comes Alexei. He's going to score. And it's a 4-2 Sox lead.
That fastball in the inner portion, Adam doesn't get a whole lot of it, but gets enough of it to ease it over the head of Rosales. RBI number 77.
That was just pure muscle right there. He didn't get hardly, as you mentioned, he didn't get hardly any of it.
That broke in his hands, but he got just enough.
Don't stop now, boys. As here's Paulie. Paulie has gone out to center and he's gone out to right. Takes first pitch strike. 4-5-0 for our guys. 2-8-2 for their guys. That ball hit high and deep. Stretch. I think Paulie thought he got that one. So here's Jordan. He's been to the plate one time back in the 4th inning. He came in for Garcia, and here's what he did.
He got a roller, and he hit his 3rd home run of the year.
Flips that one out there, and that's going to fall. So 1 out. Men on first and second.
Here comes
duck snort.
Mike Maddox. Try to settle down his right-hander, who's shattered a couple of bats.
And while Mike is out there talking to him, you can organize a group outing of 20 or more for a Sox game during the season and receive savings off the individual game ticket price. You can enhance your outing by upgrading to our new Miller Lite bullpen party porch, our pregame patio party, one of our diamond suites, or one of our other great party areas. So 312-674-1000 or visit WhiteSox.com, and that's the Bertucci Boys domain. Bobby Bruno and Handsome Anthony. 25,960 on a gorgeous day. And there's another gorgeous Sox fan, all decked out in her Sox attire. And here's Keppinger, strikeout and a ground out to third. Takes first pitch strike. Boy, a tweener would look great here. Whew. Watch out.
Fortunately, that one drifted to the first base side of second because Soto got rid of it quickly. Didn't get as much as he wanted on it.
Yeah, if it's on the money,
he's out.
He gone.
Yep. Long way to go for the tag by Profar.
A ball and 2 strikes. Viciado on deck.
Soto's having a running conversation with Adam Dunn out at second base, telling him, don't take that secondary lead.
Two down. 8 strikeouts now for Garza. So here's Tank. He singled to start off the 3rd inning, came around to score, and he struck out in the 4th. Big gap out there in left center. Huge gap. Goes through the high heater. Down at second. Danks at first. 1-1 to count. Cars are just coming right at him with that heat.
I don't think Soto liked the location. I think he liked the pitch, the fastball. But I don't think he wanted to get it thigh high, because the Viciedo, that's really the danger zone. So he went out there to have a word with him. Probably mentioning, because he was pretty observant, how Darvish got him on a sweeping slider well out of the zone last night. So he's got a couple of options.
That'll retire the side. We pick up one. We lead at 4-2.
Left the game was pretty good. A couple of strikeouts, and then a couple of strikeouts of Giovanni Soto. So we got Baker, Rosales, Soto, and Soto among his 5 Ks, and that's the whiff. Matt Lindstrom comes into the game for the 64th time. He's 2-3, ERA 3.16. He's got a 2-run lead to protect as the Sox try to take 2 of 3 from the #1 team in the West. And Mitch Moreland will be the first man that he will face pinch hitting for Adam Rosales.
Moreland hitting at 245. 18 homers, 52 knocked in. He's a strong guy. Moreland pinch hit. 8th inning in game 1 and hit a rocket out of here for a 2-run homer.
This Texas team has 23 pinch hits this year. 23 out of 82. But not that time, as the count goes to 0-2. So Moreland, who starts usually against the right-handed starters, is pretty much their everyday first baseman.
No, Matt's been staying on top of that slider, and it has been awesome. Washington has come back to tie Kansas City at 4. That's after 7 at Kauffman Stadium. Tigers now leading the Mets 11-3. Top of the 9th at Citi Field. Top of the 8th in Baltimore, 7-3 Orioles over Oakland. Let's get over there. Probably taking himself.
Great matchup yesterday as Scherzer ran his record to 19-1. He was matched up against Matt Harvey. It was a battle of the two all-star starters going head-to-head, and Matt Harvey got the bunt sign. They wanted him to lay one down. Terry Collins said, lay it down. So he thought they had taken off the bunt sign after the first attempt. So he swung away. This was Scherzer, rather. He swung away, and it turned into gold. Hit the ball in the gap, hit the daylights out of it on a low Harvey fastball. You don't figure to get that kind of contribution from the man who is one of the best pitchers in baseball and a guy who doesn't hit very much, but that's what happened.
Yeah, when I go home tonight, I'm going to watch a little of that game on my iPad.
Pretty good stuff between the two guys.
Oh. Two of the best pitchers in the game. That's one great thing about the iPad. I can go back in this MLB app. I can go back and check out any game I want to.
But we're seeing so many really good young pitchers now coming into the game with great arms, good presence, very good stuff. And we're watching a lot of teams just sequentially bring them to the big leagues.
Another thing we're seeing from those good young pitchers with those big arms coming in is we're seeing more of these young pitchers come in with good changeups than we've seen in 30 or 40 years.
One of those guys is Jose Fernandez. He's won 5 straight. He's 21 years old. He's 10-5. He's making a push for Rookie of the Year. Of course, Yasiel Puig is one of the guys that everybody accords it to. But that being said, if Fernandez continues to do what he's done, which is largely be unbeatable in Miami, at home he's 7-0 with a 1.29 ERA and 13 home starts. This guy has got overwhelming stuff, and although Miami is not a good team and they've really struggled this year and they're sitting there at 49 and 79, if you run into Fernandez as your mound opponent, you've got big problems because he's not giving up anything.
There's a base hit in the hole. So Gentry 2 for 4. And that'll bring up Elvis Andrus, who's 1 for 3. 4-6-0 for us. 2-9-2 for them if you're just tuning in. They have a 2-run homer from Baker. We have a solo shot from Jordan Danks. Of course, with that home run by Danks, the Alex Nelius family will make a beautiful donation to White Sox charities in loving memory of Ursula. High and wide. Elvis has faced Matt 3 times, has 2 hits. Time was called.
And Alan Porter granted the timeout. Little dust devil, as they say in the Southwest, around home plate. So visibility limited.
Broken bat. So with 1 out, 2 on. And Sox fans, join us on Saturday, September 14th at 6:10 for halfway to St. Paddy's Day and post-game fireworks presented by Miller Lite. Also, the first 20,000 adults aged 21 and over will receive a green White Sox cap. So purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com/SPD.
Now we find ourselves in the real dangerous part of this order.
Kinsler, he's 1 for 3. He's 1 for 3 today, and he's 2 for 3 lifetime against Lindstrom. Takes it just off the plate. Now 2-0.
That was a slider, and Matt has got to be careful because he left that one over the inner portion. And those go out of the park in a hurry as Donnie Veal starts loosening in the Sox pen.
Yeah, we were just talking about how good his sliders, man. He made a bad pitch on a roller to Gentry for the base hit. Okay, take your time. Oh, man. Can't get it. That'll be an error. Perfect double play ball. Tried to do a little too much too quick.
That time he just flat out booted it. So that is error number 21. And the Rangers in this inning will have 2 extra outs.
Sacks packed with the best hitter on the team digging in at the plate.
Don Cooper goes out there just to make sure that Matt is concentrating, thinking about throwing a ground ball, getting out of the inning. Time now for our AT&T U-verse multiview. Very good speed at first and second.
Beltre has singled, walked, and scored, and then hit a bullet into a double play. And he's going to do it again. Rack him up. Yes! So Lindstrom pitches out of his own jam and then 2 jams. And 7th inning stretch, 4-2 Sox.
Ladies and gentlemen, at Major League ballparks across America each Sunday, the singing of God Bless America is performed in support of our country and our men and women stationed overseas. Please welcome Gerald Chaney for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Mitch Moreland, who came in the game to pinch hit, stays in the game defensively at first.
And Josh Fegley will lead it off for us. Josh has walked and struck out. Our guys on top 4-2. That ball hit hard. Stretch. Back. Looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. A line shot out of here by Fegley, and our guys lead it 5-2.
Fourth home run, 16th driven in. First ball, fastball, and gone. Ford home run replay. That ball did nothing. It stayed right there. It didn't have a whole lot of late life until it sunk out of the ballpark. Second home run of the day.
Alejandro fouls it back. There's about a 58-footer.
Looks like for the first time they're starting to stir in the Rangers bullpen. There has been no activity to this point.
There's a little flare. Andrus. And one out. And you can stay connected to your Sox all season long. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter, Stoney, and Instagram.
And
Pin us on Pinterest.
Pinterest, of course.
Yes. Add us to your circle on Google Plus and reblog our unique Tumblr. That's your favorite, isn't it?
Well, yes, the unique Tumblr content when you reblog that. That's one of my favorite things to do when we have night games.
So visit WhiteSox.com/connect today. 5-2 lead here in the bottom of the seventh inning. One strike pitch to Beckham. That's into left field. And that's out number 2. Gordon now 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly.
I'd like to pass along my sincere condolences to the friends and family of Kathleen Niedermeyer, great fan of baseball, a friend to all. We lost her last week, and we will all miss her.
First pitch to Alexei. Cues it off the end of the bat. Alexei 1 for 3. A leadoff double in the 6th, and he scored on Adams' single. Very quickly to count 0-2.
Robbie Ross, a very talented left-hander, throwing in the pen. And Nate Jones up and throwing in the Sox pen.
And also top of the 9th in Baltimore, Orioles leading Oakland 10-3. Ball stays down. Nice play by Andrus. And that'll retire the side. But the line drive home run by Josh Fegley, his 4th, and we lead it by 3.
Got a couple of changes as Nate Jones comes into the game. Nate on for the 58th time. The record 4-4. The ERA touch under 4. He inherits a 3-run lead. Leury Garcia checks in the game in center field.
And here's Rios. Alex. Then it'll be David Murphy. He's come out to hit for Baker. Alex. 0 for 3 today. Takes that one to 98, low and away. 5-7-1 for us. 2-10-2 for them. And there's a slider strike. Cues that one over by the photographer's well.
There is Leury Garcia in center field, and Diaz slides over to left.
AJ was telling me that Leury can play short, second, and center.
Well, this is one of those, let's see what he can do. Getting an opportunity late in this one in a center field that he's not familiar with.
Got him.
And of course, if Nate throws like that, it's not going to matter who's in center field. Southpaw could be out there.
Oh, that's cold. That's cold.
Well, Southpaw can cover some ground.
Now bail out. Here's Murphy. Baker was 2 for 3. The 2-run homer, the single. Murphy hitting at 221, 12 homers, and 40 knocked in. We got a man there, and his name is Diaz. 2 down. So here comes AJ. And a nice listen. Fans giving him a nice warm thank you for 8 years, 8 wonderful years in a Sox uniform and one World's Championship that he figured very, very prominently in. He'll never be forgotten here. In fact, he'll never be forgotten in any park he ever played in. There's a shot down into the corner. So the 2-out double.
That's a slider that didn't do a whole lot. He tried to get it low and in. Instead, it went right over the middle of the plate. So AJ, who's been a good pinch hitter in the few opportunities he's had, he's 4 for 8 in a pinch hitting role.
So here's Profar. Infield single, a double, a line out to center. He's 2 for 3. And here comes Coop. And while Coop goes out there, a reminder, our Sox and Camarena Tequila both know that giving anything less than 100%, well, that's just not good enough. That's why Camarena only offers award-winning 100% blue agave tequilas. Camarena Tequila, the official tequila of our White Sox. 2 out. AJ at second. 0-1 to count to the 20-year-old Erickson. Profar out of Corsall. Donnie Veal loosening up down in the pen. And the strike, 0-2. Well, we played them down at their place. We won 2 out of 3. They won the first game. We won the last 2. So this is the final meeting of the year between these two clubs. Hopefully we can redo. They won the first game, and hopefully we can win the last 2. That's up high, 1-2. Kansas City has retaken the lead over Washington, 6-4. Cleveland beat Minnesota 3-1 at Progressive Field. Cleveland with 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Those Indians hanging right there. They've won 8 of their last 11. Detroit doesn't seem like they want to lose anymore, so they've gained no ground. They're 6 back.
Yes, he did. Nice inning for the Nate Meister. We go to the bottom of the 8th.
Chuck Garfien and Bill Melton bring you their take on today's action. Look ahead to the next series. Don't miss White Sox post-game live right after the game on Comcast Sportsnet. David Murphy stays in the game in left field. A.J. Pierzynski, after his pitch double, stays in the game behind the plate. And Robbie Ross comes into the game on for the 54th time. He's 4-2, the ERA 2.77. He's pitched in the series, and he pitched very well. He's had, in fact, a terrific year. We saw him in the first game of the series on Friday night.
So it'll be Dunn, Canerco, and Danks. Adam 1 for 3 with a single, knocking in Ramirez back in the 6th inning, picking up his 77th ribby. 1-1 pitch. That's into left center field. Gentry, 1 out. So here's Pauly. Pauly 0 for 3. He's gone out to center twice. He's gone out to right once very deep. Taking Rios back up against the fence. Takes first pitch strike. That's the final now. Baltimore, they beat Oakland 10-3. And the count 0-2. Phillies beat the D-backs 9-5. Milwaukee beat Cincinnati 3-1. Marlins got beat by the Rockies 4-3 down in Florida. Chops that foul over into our dugout. Atlanta leading St. Louis 5-2 after 8 in St. Louis. No score Pittsburgh at San Francisco. That's in the bottom of the third. Steve, did you see the thing on the MLB this morning about the Angels? Well, I'm sure you saw some of it, but okay, the one I'm talking about, they had a picture of Dipoto and a picture of Socia.
Yes, I did, and I saw what they are saying at this point, that they have had some differences. However, philosophically, they are very similar in their baseball approach, as Paulie lines out, because there was a rumor saying that they couldn't coexist as they head into next year. And Mike Socia was trying to dispel that theory, as I'm sure was Jerry Dipoto, in the fact that Mike Socia has a contract through 2018. So appears that he's going to be around, and I believe that Artie Moreno, the owner, likes what Jerry Dipoto and his entire front office can do, although it's been a couple disappointing years for him.
I guess.
So yeah, that was kind of an interesting article.
Jordan can't get it. If you're just tuning in, Johnny Danks went 6 innings, giving up 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 walk, had 4 strikeouts. And here's what.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And it's late arriving in the ball game. Jordan Danks get a rolling curveball. It's his 3rd home run. That coming in the 4th inning.
There's a strike. And the last time that a brother hit a home run in the major leagues to assist his brother who was pitching was back June 3rd, 1955.
Been a while.
Yes, the Athletics against Boston. That was Billy Shantz, the catcher. Hit a home run for his brother, the diminutive Bobby Shantz.
I was going to say, I'm not sure if he was his older brother, but I know he was his little brother.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bobby Shantz had a big curveball. The 2-2. Got him, and we're into the 9th, leading 5-2.
13, on for the 57th time, looking to nail down save number 35, and this his 40th attempt. And he's got 3 runs to protect. And he has Mitch Moreland, the tough left-hand hitter, to lead off the top of the 9th inning as the Sox try to bid adieu to the Texas Rangers for this year by taking 4 of 6 in the season series.
So here's Moreland. 0 for 1, grounded out to Paulie at first. 5-7-1 for us, 2-11-2 for them. Gentry on deck, Anderson the hole. One pitch. And one out. And for those of you who did not see the start of the game, look at what happened when they took the lineup cards out. Mark Parent, Jerry Lane, nose to nose, and he gone.
He didn't last long, but knowing Mark, he probably felt he helped the ball club.
Mark is a future manager just waiting to happen, as is Joe McEwing. He's going to be a good one.
I particularly enjoy Mark's very calm approach to most situations that come up during the course of the game.
Boy, and he's Robin's bench coach.
Yeah.
Boy, there you talking about opposites attract.
Right. Robin is the calmest man in the ballpark, and Mark gets a little excited.
God love Bernie. He's something. He can get the pinky in a heartbeat.
Well, he has more the disposition for a catcher than most of the catchers around. I mean, he was a catcher for a long time, and catchers are guys who can take control.
Yeah. Mark's last 2 years of managing before Robin picked him to be his bench coach here, he finished second and he finished first. One and two the count. To Gentry. Gordon's got him. 2 down. So here's Andrus. One and 0 the count. Elvis 2 for 4, 2 singles, a ground out to short. And grabs the strike with that. Took a little something off of it. He's been doing that with regularity and having tremendous success. In fact, there's no question. There's no question in my mind on who the MVP of our ball club is this year, and we're looking at him out on that bump.
Well, right now, Addison Reed is a better pitcher than he's been at any time in his career, because he's really learned that, yes, you are a closer, and yes, you come in at the end and it helps you have a big fastball, but he's also learned that there's a certain amount of finesse that goes with closing, and he's learned that.
And this ball game is over. Yes. So the Sox take the rubber match of this 3-game set. They win it 5-2. Rangers won the opener 11-5. We won last night 3-2 behind Santiago, and a nice series. Sox have now won 8 out of the last 9 ball games, and I'll tell you, Jordan Danks today, another strong outing.
Well, there's no doubt that Jordan Danks certainly helped his brother, and Johnny Danks winning 2 games in a row threw the ball exceptionally well.
And who's our GMC player of the game?
Our GMC player of the game has to be none other than the man who started this game, and that was Johnny Danks. Coming off his best performance of the year, he was facing one of the stronger ball clubs in the league. And he had a good change. He threw the curveball over the plate. He kept these good hitters off balance. He went 6 innings through a whole lot of pitches, but only gave up 2 runs on 8 hits. He walked only 1. He fanned 5. And Johnny Danks, our GMC player of the game, richly deserved. And the left-hander seems to be getting better and better with every passing outing.
Well, the thing that I think that both of us very much like was the fact of the prospects of next year, Johnny Danks coming back and being Johnny Danks. No problems.
Well, I think also he's starting to get the point where he feels that his arm strength is there. And if his arm strength is there, then the changeup gets better and everything follows right along with it.
Well, let's go down to our Jordan Danks now. Jordan with his home run put us on top right there. And Jordan, nice going, buddy.
I appreciate it.
And you know that's the first time since 1955, June 3rd of 1955, that a brother has hit a home run in helping his brother who was pitching in that game, and that was Billy Shantz homered for his brother Bobby Shantz. Athletics against Boston, so congratulations.
I appreciate that very much.
Hey, we won late out of the last 9. Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I get in the game, especially when John's pitching, I want to do well because, you know, I don't want him say anything to me about it later.
Jordan, you're a notorious low fastball hitter. There's no doubt about that, and you've been hitting him pretty well lately, but you're standing out there against a guy that throws as hard as Garza. What'd you think when you saw that rolling breaking ball come up there?
It was just one of those things, you know. I'm usually got the foot down, ready to hit a fastball, and you know, just kind of hung one and was in a good position to hit. So I was able to just bring the bat to it and was just trying to put it in play and ran into one. So it was very cool.
Well, Jordan, and now you coming into that with that home run, that was your 11th hit in the last 27 at bats to take you up around the 400 mark. And have you made any changes, or just a mental thing?
You know, little tweaks here and there, but I think it was more a mental thing, you know, picking better pitches to swing at and getting myself into better hitters' counts, and so it's definitely been the difference.
Jordan, thanks for the time, buddy. Nice going to keep going.
I appreciate it.
All right. So for my partner, Steve Stone, our director, Jim Angiu, our producer, Mike Leary, our associate producer, Dave Ross, our technical manager, Mark Harper, the executive producer, Jim Corno Jr., also for the mayor, Mean Joe Groove, and for Mike Mayor, Frank D'Amato, Doug Bullard down in sound. This is a Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, the Overland Park Nissan postgame show with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet.